is your source for all things Everton. I'm Connor Williams, and we're back with another one of our 24/7 news report videos. As always, we start with the headline news. The headline news, which came out last night, is that Everton have approached PSG for Idrissa Gueye. Talks are still early stages, and they will continue into the next couple of days. PSG want to sell Gueye as soon as possible. That's come from Fabrizio Romano. Like I always say, we run a poll. If you want to get involved in the polls, follow us on Twitter. It's the first tweet. It's would Idrissa Gueye making a return to Everton? Leave your thoughts. 89.3% of you said yeah. 10.7% of you said no. 2,754 votes voted on that. Still open for another 14 hours. This is tough, isn't it? Because his fond memories. I actually really liked him when he played for us. I remember watching him at Goodison when my dad had somebody moaning about him, and I was like, you know what, he's really underrated because he does so much so well, and his passing isn't as bad as people are making out. And then some fella behind us also then like 20 minutes later said the exact same thing to his girlfriend. I have so many fond memories. I thought he was an absolute brilliant workhorse of a player. The only reason I'm like iffing and butting is because, firstly, there were people moaning about him back then. Now this is like 3 years down the line, so imagine how much they're going to do it then. The other issue is that he's what, 30 odd now, 32 years old. I haven't seen him play since he's played for Everton. And I know a couple of you might have watched Champions League games, but week in, week out, I highly doubt that maybe one or two of you in the comments, and let me know if you do. I don't want to assume, but I would bet that not everybody in the comments has watched week in, week out for PSG. You don't know if we're getting the Idrissa Gueye that we had 3 years ago when he was 29, and everyone was saying get rid because he's 29 and he's aging. So there's my one reservation. That's my only reservation with him. The other just comes at the, not anger, not disappointment, just the, I don't know, lackluster feeling of, we lost Idrissa Gueye. We struggled to find his replacement. We went with Shabam, that ended awfully. Club couldn't see that coming, that his legs are made of Weetabix. We finally found the Idrissa Gueye replacement, and it's him. This was 3 years ago, and we're back to having the same player because whatever reason, and there are players out there that are a similar mould to him, younger, hungrier, but the club just, I don't know, the scouting system at Everton doesn't seem to be up to much. I saw a meme there before, and it was like Everton's scouting system. Have they ever played in the Premier League? Did they play for Wolves? Have they played for us? And that's literally it. If they've played for us, they can come back. If they played for Wolves, it seems to be Keane, although that's only Felwell's influence. Chelsea's another one, although we've not really, again, that's only Lampard. But the genuine one I have, which is a bit longer, is have they played in the Premier League? Yes, then that's it, because that's all they seem to manage to do. So it's just I'm a bit annoyed that he left 3 years ago. We've not kicked on, we've not moved on, and we're right back where probably worse off. We are worse off. But you know, I mean, there's no progress in this Everton squad, which is what people have been on about all season, last season, and now with the summer. It's like 2 steps forward, 5 steps backwards for Everton. But that's not on Idrissa Gueye. Like I said, the player he was when I last saw him, I hope he's still that player. I have my reservations about it. I'm not saying he will be rubbish. I'm just have reservations about it as he's 32. I hope he's the player that left Everton. He was one of my favourite players when he played. So yeah, I can see why people are so in the yes. I'm just that little bit cautious and wary. But yeah, it looks like PSG want to get rid of him. Galtier clearly doesn't rate him for his system. So yeah. We also have that Everton were interested in Burnley's Maxwell Cornet, but couldn't agree terms with Burnley. Everton then switched to Dwight McNeil. Frank Lampard viewed Dwight McNeil as a good for the present and the future. That came from Fabrizio Romano and just getting it up now. The other Andy Hunter from The Guardian. So yeah, interesting. that Lampard likes him. I mean, he's been announced today as well. So if you haven't seen it, there is the reaction video. I think it's Owen and Terry on the channel. So go check that out. Owen is absolutely, if you know anything about him, follow him on Twitter. He absolutely loves Burnley and Dyche. So he's watched a lot of Dwight McNeil. So it's worth watching because he's watched more of Dwight McNeil than I think most Everton fans will have in the last couple of seasons. So Owen will probably be very fair on his evaluation of him. So go check that out if you haven't already. I do like him. I've got a friend who's a Burnley fan, and I asked him, what do you think? And he was like, very one-footed, so a little bit one-dimensional in that aspect. He said he's got a wand of a left foot. His crossing's decent. He had more expected assists last season than the entire Everton squad, than any player in the entire Everton squad. So he does contribute something. I'm thinking his left foot, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's ability to rise above and big heading ability, match made in heaven. Lampard, interesting. He does seem to be building young players squads. And from what I've heard and who were rumoured that he does like English players as well, some more homegrown. But yeah, this idea that we're going for younger players is fantastic. This is a lot better. Obviously, Idrissa Gueye isn't one of them, so it contradicts. But predominantly we are Vinagre's young, Mikalenko's young, he's young. Dennis, the striker, whoever we go for the striker, whether it's Dennis or Brozier, they're young. So it's good stuff. Moving on, we have that Barkley hints to return to Goodison Park. There's been some interesting activity on his Instagram account. If you've not seen it, for one, he's changed his location on Twitter to Liverpool, and on his Instagram, he's now put all his archived Everton photos back up. One last ditch to appease the fan base before his return. I don't think he offers anything personally, nothing to do with how he left, although that is a sour taste, and it just has a whiff of Benitez about it where fans aren't going to love him. I just don't think he's contributes enough. I don't think he's good enough. And with this is exactly like Benitez in the fact that he's going to come in being a hostile man now with the fan base. There's no room for error. Rafa Benitez wasn't allowed any error. And I don't think Ross Barkley will either. If he puts in 2, 3, 4 bad games, fans will boo him. You'll see it on Twitter, get him out, and stuff like that. It's a bad idea. The only way it'd work is if he came and absolutely from the bat smashed it out the park. Otherwise, I've got this horrible feeling it's going to go the same way it did last time with Benitez. We also have the Sunderland boss Alex Neil has failed to rule out the possibility of a potential arrival as head of Sunderland's opening day fixture to Coventry. Speaking ahead of the game against Mark Robins' side, Scott said, well, there might be someone in before Saturday. There's every chance. So he's not failed to rule out, has he? He's just basically gone out and go, yeah, there might be somebody in there. Obviously, that could be Ellis Sims, who is very much linked with a move to Sunderland. So watch this space. He turned down Blackpool, and Sunderland is now the favourite. Worked for Broadhead, that loan deal. So let's wait and see what happens there. Hopefully, Ellis Sims can get some more game time. There was rumours of us potentially looking to sell him. I'm quite glad we're keeping on just a little bit longer. I think it's the right thing to do. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he kicks on and does very well. But yeah, we also have that West Ham are making an approach for Everton defender Mason Holgate, according to 90 Min. The Hammers signed Naif Agurd from Rennes with a deal up to 30 million, but the Moroccan underwent ankle surgery following an injury against Rangers and is out for some time. Therefore, puts David Moyes back in the market for a centre-back. Interesting. I mean, he's not the centre-back I'd sell out of all of them. I'd sell Michael Keane probably. I think his chances have run out at Everton. But Holgate would then be the next one, maybe Mina, because you can make some money off him. Yeah, I mean, Holgate, I rate him better than Michael Keane, in all honesty. David Moyes will have him playing. You watch David Moyes will have him set up well. He won't be the Mason Holgate we all know. He'll do really well under Moyes. But we need money. Money is what we need. So if the price is right, then I'm pretty sure he will be one to be sold. Finally, we have the Toffees have been handed a massive Broja boost. Nearly stumbled there. Everton have been handed a boost in their pursuit of Armando Broja after 2 Premier League rivals looked to pull out of the race. West Ham United themselves are out of the running by just signing Gianluca Scamacca from Sassuolo for 30 million. I really wanted Scamacca, really gutted we didn't push for him and West Ham have. I think he might have a really good season. Put him in my fantasy because for 7 odd million on fantasy was worth it. Yeah, really gutted about that. I think he's going to be a better player than Broja. While Newcastle are unable to meet the Albanians' demands of guaranteed first-team football, Frank Lampard is keen to add reinforcements after Calvert-Lewin's injuries last season. I don't think we can guarantee him first-team football, not over Calvert-Lewin, unless we play 2 up top. I've made it very clear I don't think Broja has the numbers. 30-odd games last season, 8 goals. I know he's young and people say he's young, but there's people moaning about Dwight McNeil's numbers when he was playing for Burnley. Broja was at Southampton and his numbers weren't very good. I don't know. I really wanted Scamacca and didn't get it. So maybe it's a little bit that I didn't get it where I want some a bit. But I also just don't think his numbers are worth the 30-odd million being touted. For like 20, 25, maybe even 25, I'd be a bit. But 20, they're numbers, but it's one of them. If he's that young, hopefully we'll be able to recoup some money if it doesn't work out. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong and Broja signs and is someone we regard as a very high tech, could be our Lukaku, where we end up selling him again for massive amounts in a couple of years. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am. I hope I am. I don't want any player we sign to flop. So yeah, if I am, come back in 4 or 5 years and comment or spam this video with comments saying you were wrong. I'll be very happy for it. I'm happy to admit it because I'll be enjoying Everton's success. And it probably helped the algorithm on YouTube. So, but that's all we've got time for. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment down below your thoughts on anything I've spoken about today. Broja, obviously, let me know that one, and let me know in 4 years if I was wrong. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on Mason Holgate to West Ham. Dwight McNeil, are you happy with the new signing? And Idrissa Gueye, are you happy for the return? Let me know all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys very soon.